Y'all introduce Barrett. Let me introduce Dr.
Welcome
B.
back to my podcast, my mom said. No.
Let me talk about who this guy is. Yeah, what's the purpose of me being on here? I mean, truly, like, I know I'm just asking a question.
Yeah,
oh, my word.
As we go.
You're a daily,
We're just going to go.
You're a co-host.
Okay, here we go. This is going to be great.
And action.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. We are joined together with a special guest. So we are starting a new monthly series where we will have someone come on from the practice from our city, and we're just gonna have a conversation. Just kind of treat it as a interaction like I have on a day-to-day basis. So welcome to the show, Becky Crenshaw.
Glad to be here.
She's been a patient. Tell me about how you found us and just what your story is in getting here.
Okay, this is a full circle moment because I was a podcast binger.
Yeah, really?
So I found you on Instagram.
Okay.
Someone in my circle of friends was posting about this Armor Health, and I realized this guy's in Knoxville. So I found the Real Health Podcast, and I binged it.
Really?
I'm binging it like Netflix.
Really?
Just one after the, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so it was through a podcast that actually you did on hormones.
Okay.
That I sent it to my husband. I was like, you've got to listen to this guy. He knows his stuff. And you do. You know your stuff. Here I am, full circle, on the pod.
Yeah, so
it's thankful.
That's been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And what are some practical things that you've applied in your personal journey?
Yeah.
Because you've been a patient for a couple of years, but even just on a day-to-day basis, what you've learned from the podcast, what you've learned from being a patient here, what are a couple practical things that you've applied that's been helpful? Yeah.
Well, I came to you because I did have dysregulated hormones. And I was a little upside down on my health journey. And you were able to just settle me into a really good place. And so I'm actually going to talk to you about that. And something that you said that still rings true every day. I think about it a lot, actually. But I got into chiropractic care. First and foremost, you got me into a pretty aggressive treatment plan to get my body regulated, and that was really impactful. And then you layered some other pieces. And so one thing that I've always appreciated about you, while there are so many things that we could be doing, you are always really good to not overwhelm me, my system, my mental space,
Sure.
I've said several times, well, what about this? Or should I do this? And you're like, nope, let's start here, just layering. But I remember you said to me, and this is actually one of my questions for you. You quoted Psalm 127:1 to me, and you said, in that first appointment, I was weeping. I just felt so broken. And you said, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. And you were really clear with me that we want the Lord to build this house. And that was really an impactful moment. And I remember going to some friends. I was like, who quotes scripture in a doctor's appointment? It was just so life-giving. I felt so seen and heard. And so all these, years later, I've seen you with patients. And so, someone comes to you, feeling broken. A lot of people come just feeling really hopeless.
Yeah.
So how do you encourage people? I knew what that meant to me, but someone's listening to this or watching this for the first time and they just feel in that place. They're just broken. So how do they move from building their own house to allowing the Lord to build their house of wellness?
Yeah. Well, when you look at our the work of our hands, what we do, it can be, what we do can be used either for building of our kingdom or His kingdom. It's really a frame of mind. Who are we putting on the throne of our hearts?
Right.
Anything can become an idol really quickly, right? So health is one of those that, in my opinion, can become an idol. Now, it can become something where we just don't care about at all. Right? We're just a total passive to this idea of reaping what we sow and creating health and honoring and stewarding over the physical body. But it can also become hyper consuming, and where we look at our physical body and we try to do all these things, and we realize we're idolizing how we look and how we feel, and what we think we should be like, or what we think we should feel like, or even comparing ourselves to people around us and saying, hey, that's the way I should look, that's the way I should feel. And it just becomes this never-ending cycle where we don't get anywhere except more anxiety, more depression, and a feeling of worthlessness. And so the whole concept of building your house upon the Lord, letting Him do it, and not doing it out of vanity, is on a day-to-day basis asking the question why I'm doing it.
Right.
So why do you want to be healthier? Right? Yes. Like superficially, I think the question is easy to answer because I just want to feel good. I want to have better energy levels. I want to trim down some fat, whatever. I want to build some lean mass. Okay, those are great superficial answers to the question. But when you really ask the question, why? What are my motives behind getting healthy? And if we were just sit with that question for a little bit longer than the quick response, knee-jerk reaction of I just want to feel better, a lot of times we'll get into this, to the reality of the why. And if the why isn't something that is in a sense serving the mission and the vision of being a Christ follower, which is everything for His good, everything for His glory, His kingdom to come to this earth, then it's in vanity. So if we look at anything in our lives, whether it's our marriage, whether it's how we raise our kids, whether it's how I build this business, or whether it's how I create health in my physical body, any of those can be for my glory. And you wouldn't know it, and the opposite could be true too. They could be for His glory. And so why do I want to be healthy? Why do I want to build this physical body for His glory? Well, because I want to see His kingdom come. I want to have energy and vitality so that I can be an effective witness for His kingdom, because I believe Christians should be the healthiest physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And so these are things that I think is true, that we get to reap what we sow, and that we should be set apart, that we're holy, we're distinct, we're set apart. So that whole principle of unless the Lord builds the house, those who labor do in vain. It's if you build your health based upon the framework of superficiality, I just want to feel better, just want to look better, it will fail you. Sooner or later, it's going to fail you. It's going to crumble. It's going to be the house that is built upon the sand, and you will find out that you are still missing something. And that void is just now going to get filled with something else, and you're going to constantly live in that state of still anxiety and depression, no matter how good you look, or no matter how healthy you are. So it is not about just being physically healthy. It is about being physically, emotionally, spiritually healthy. It is Romans 12, to offer our bodies as a living sacrifice, all of them before the Lord.
So good. You kind of took another question. So I was going to ask, but you kind of answered it within that answer, which that's so good. But my one of my questions was, how do we stay? There's two ditches. There's obsession about our health, not just our physique. Like it's not, I think for a lot of people, it's not about physique. It's about this, how can I be the most healthy I can be? That becomes a golden calf.
Oh, in and of itself can.
Right.
Yes.
So that's one ditch. And then the other ditch is negligence and, fast food and just not paying a bit of attention. So you did answer that, but I think, like, how do we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus in this journey of health, stay out of the ditches and stay on the right path for the long term?
Yeah. Like I said, right. You can definitely have it. You can be obsessive about anything, and what we find is that with health, when we are obsessed about our health, it's because we're trying to control something. A lot of times, we're trying to control something that's out of our control, and we're trying to control it because we might feel out of control in other areas. I think out of a place of peace, out of a place of rest, are we able to take control in a healthy way over our lifestyle? This world is about discipline. right? This is a word that we don't like to hear much. There are healthy rhythms and disciplines to everyday life. And so it's not about this healthy like discipline for the day, for the moment, for the year. It's about creating healthy disciplines, not just for my generation, but for my kids' generation. Why am I disciplined today? Because I want to show my kids what healthy disciplines look like, spiritually and physically, so that they can show their kids what healthy disciplines look like physically and spiritually. So this idea of just being consistent and constant in life is important, not just swinging back from one ditch to the other, because we do that as well.
Right.
We can live in an obsessive ditch of health, and we can also then just veer off and become a fat, gluttonous person that's just eating whatever's in front of us.
Sure.
Like it's we can be the same person on a day-to-day basis. We can intermittent fast in the morning just so I can plunge into whatever food I want for that evening.
Right.
So we can even have that level of a swing even on a day-to-day basis.
That's good.
But when we operate from a sense of like fulfillment and peace, and looking to your bigger question, and this is probably a question that you want to ask yourself. Again, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You have to have...
It's like the long game.
You have to have a bigger why.
Right.
And your why cannot be even... It can't even just be about you.
Right.
I always say your why has to be bigger than yourself.
That's good.
Your why has to be so big that it isn't about you anymore.
Right. That's good.
And when you take the eyes off yourself and why you're doing it, and you place it on maybe it's a generational why, then I think you have a little bit more like, ability to stay true to your disciplines. Because then you're just thinking, well, I just want to see, I want my kids to see why Dad gets up every morning at this time and does this and that, and why these are his routines. Like, make it or break it. I know my dad does this every day.
Right.
I know my dad does this every week. I know my mom does this every day. I know my mom does this every day. That's so valuable for a child. So when they grow up, they're just like, hey, this is just what we did. This is what we do. This is who we are.
That's so good.
So
health is caught, not taught. True.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
by your kiddos in a lot of ways.
No doubt.
Okay, so this is so good. All right, so now let's. I'm gonna think like someone. Well, I was this someone. I feel like the health industry does a pretty good job of talking to someone coming from zero, trying to get healthy. But what about the person that's coming from a really good place of wellness? Like I came to you, I was a pretty healthy girl.
Agreed.
But I wanted to get 1%, 2% better. I'm not going to go to extreme. It takes money. And I do have a question about like, if you don't have much money, how do you get started?
Yep.
But that's next. Put that one away. But for someone who's coming to you pretty healthy, what is the next best thing that they can do? They're eating clean.
Okay.
They're working out.
Yep.
What's next for them?
Yeah, we always talk about the foundational pillars. So assuming they're getting 8 hours sleep a night, they're moving their bodies every day, they're living a healthy emotional, spiritual life, and that they're nutritionally sound, and we add one more here at the Real Health Company. We talk about chiropractic care as a foundational pillar. If you're checking those boxes, then your progression of health is making sure you're checking those boxes every day. So it's the constant. You're not doing that for a month, 3 months. You're doing this for years. Okay. And then how you progress someone's health from there is you start to introduce old time practices that have been around for generations that we just lose track of today. What is that? It's solitude.
Yeah.
It's
Amen.
silence.
That's
it's
right.
fasting. It's finding peace in nature. It's actually disconnecting from this world. It's not a fancy supplement. It's not a fancy detox program. Those are great. Supplements are great. We all need a detox. We all need to cleanse our liver, and we need to support our gut with really great $20 bottles of kimchi and sauerkraut and kombucha.
Yeah.
But the reality is the more innovative and technologically advanced we become as a society, the more our bodies are starving for the opposite, which is where we were hundreds of years ago.
That's good.
Playing in the dirt,
Yeah.
walking outside,
Yeah.
resting, fasting, sleeping, taking vacations, taking naps. I would say, honestly, the person that's probably as disciplined as maybe I am or you are in regards to these pillars, that's checking these boxes every day, probably needs this other end of the spectrum as much as anyone, because they're so probably high performing that, they're always on the go. They're the mom and dad always on the go. They're high performing. They're productive. They're living life. They're fulfilling society's like standards of what they feel like they should do, but they're not resting enough.
Yeah.
They're not taking time out of the busy schedule or technology. And so what they're doing is they're burning their dopamine levels out in their brain. They're burning the adrenal system and their hormone system out. And what you find is that when you pull them out of why I do caffeine detoxes and why I do electronic detoxes and why I pull these things out of my life is to reset my dopamine levels, reset my adrenal stress levels, reset my cortisol levels. And so that you find that what we want more of what's good for us and more that what drives like excitement and energy and dopamine. So taking rest from that is actually really healing for our body. So usually I challenge people in that. Hey, let's do a 5-day fast, 7-day fast. Let's practice a Sabbath day once a week. Let's pull off electronics. Let's do a caffeine fast. It's usually actually removing things from their life that they've grown accustomed to. That's probably the bigger area. And then just making sure they're not overdoing it. Again, high performers, they're usually going to train too hard. They're going to walk too much. They're going to run too much. They're going to train too hard, and they'll burn themselves out. They're already the mom and dad that's investing so much emotionally into other people and their children. A lot of times they actually need to make sure they're monitoring their activity. Am I pushing too hard? Am I training too hard? What season can I push harder? Those are questions that I think are important to ask. And honestly, that's how you create health.
Yeah.
It's creating a sense of recovery.
Yeah.
Not just a sense of pushing and doing more and taking a new product. It's actually the opposite. It's removing things from your life.
You're reading my mail.
Really?
I mean, you know my journey. I mean, that's what got me in to the place I was in when I came to see you, was just too much of all the things that worked against my health. And so, and your recommendation for me was eat more nourishing food, rest more, step less, things that were very counterintuitive for me. And so
that's right.
So that's really refreshing. So someone that's wanting to get started on getting 1, 2, 3% better towards functional holistic wellness, it's free, first of all. That's
everything. All of what I just said is
everything.
Free.
So that really brings me to my next place. So someone wants to get started on more of a holistic, healthy journey, but finances, resources are limited because we could spend a lot of money in this world, right? Of health and wellness.
Yeah.
I think you just listed 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, those are the pillars. But the challenge that I give most people is saying, hey, you're going to spend it now or spend it later. It's up to you. Spend it now or spend it later. Spend it now on your health food options. Spend it now on chiropractic care. Spend it now on wellness initiatives for your family. Spend it now on a sauna. Spend it now on clean organic protein. Or spend it later because of high insurance premiums, because of sickness, disease, hospital visits, doctor's visits, medications. Spend it now or spend it later. It's up to you. And you can have all the money in the world, but not have your health, you won't have anything. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
That's right.
Spend it now or spend it later. So the first thing I challenge people is like, hey, we probably need to change our mindset when it comes to like how we budget our health. Health should be a priority in how we budget it. If it's at the bottom, it's going to get the bottom number of investment, right? And so, hey, how much fast food do you buy a week? How many trips do you go to Starbucks or a coffee shop, right? How much are you spending in foods that add no value to your health? How much are you spending in drinks that add no value to your health? Yeah. And then when we look at that, we find that there's plenty of money. There is plenty of resources. The issue is really a budgeting issue and a value issue. And so anything that we value, we budget. So that's where I challenge people to start. And then the second is start with protein. Like if you're trying to live healthy on a budget, you start with protein. Protein should be your cleanest, healthiest in the household.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
actually eliminate fast foods, eliminate junk foods, eliminate sugar, eliminate all that junk. Buy clean protein that's satiating, that's fulfilling. Okay.
Yeah.
And then dirty dozen. The 12 dirtiest foods that are sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, buy those organic.
Got it.
And then go from there. So remove the sugar, remove the junk food, buy clean organic protein, and keep an eye out for the dirty dozen. And then, we're sleeping 8 hours a day, right, a night. We're creating healthy habits and rhythms. We're valuing our body enough to move our body daily. Walking is perfectly fine. If you're not walking 10,000 steps a day right now, then don't go to a gym. Walk 10,000 steps a day, then go to a gym, right?
good.
Don't spend the money. Don't say, and then don't tell me you don't have money to go to the gym, so you're not. No, walk 10,000 steps a day. I assure you that'll burn more fat than you would trying to do something at Planet Fitness, right? And you're just sitting there, and then on Fridays eating free pizza that they give you, right? So move your body in a healthy way. Get out of the gym. Walk 10,000 steps a day. So many things you can do free. So it's a mindset issue in our culture more than anything. But that like at the same time answers the question.
That's good. I love the idea of budgeting. Well, they're having a health item line budget. And look, that's a really easy thing everybody can do. But I love the idea of budgeting your time in light of, do you have a silence and solitude day on the calendar this month? Do you have Sabbath woven into the fabric? I mean, that was original OG command,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And remember the Sabbath, observe the Sabbath. And so what are these practices, really the way of Jesus, that we implement into our healthy rhythm to establish routines that for the long haul keep you out of the ditches? It's free. I love it. That's so good. Okay, so I have one more question, and I think we're going to wrap up.
Go ahead.
Wrap it up. 3 non-negotiables of Dr. B's. We could do anything. Just let it go. 3 non-negotiables. It could be of your health journey, of your rhythms.
Yeah.
You're loose.
3.
3. And I was budgeted on that. I was going to just say what are non-negotiables, but
I'm not going to give you 3. I'm going to give you more than 3 because it's my podcast.
That was out the window.
I can do whatever I want.
That's his podcast.
Yes. So I would say there are the non-negotiables. It starts at the top. I spend nearly every morning with Jesus. Amen. It's a non-negotiable. Has to be. It's the only way I'm spiritually and emotionally healthy. For everyone else in my life to be an effective doctor, to be an effective husband, and to make sure that I'm building my house upon the Lord. Like, has to happen. That's a non-negotiable. And then my second non-negotiable, so I'm going to use Jesus' time to say that first one is like my morning routine.
Yep.
My morning routine is a non-negotiable.
Okay.
So when I wake up, hit the floor, sauna, Jesus time, everything in the morning, everything I do first before I even start seeing patients at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's the non-negotiable. The second non-negotiable would be how I fuel my body daily. So my nutrition. That is my second non-negotiable. So physically, first one's spiritual, emotional. That one's physical. If you were to say, hey, you either can't go to Whole Foods and buy healthy food, or you can't have a gym membership, which one? It would be I don't want the gym membership. I'll take healthy food because I can use nature as my gym.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I'm gonna say nutrition is a non-negotiable for sure. I love to sleep.
Yeah.
I need 8 hours. I go to bed at 9. I wake up at 5. So, I really try to get quality sleep. That's like a non-negotiable. In my, like, friends come over, kids are playing upstairs, and my cue for my friends is when I tell my kids, hey, it's time to brush your teeth. It's like 8 o'clock. Hey, kids, it's time to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
That means, hey, get out of my house. Hey, get out of my house. I'm ready to shut it down. I'm ready to go sleep. Other non-negotiables that are just like, it's so hard to choose, but it's like creating healthy relationships, having a healthy relationship with my wife and my children. Physical training is a non-negotiable. Being adjusted is a non-negotiable. gosh, there's, fasting, I would say, is a non-negotiable. So those are just some of them. It was really hard to give you 3. So
You did.
I gave you a few. A
Yeah,
handful.
that's good. And have more questions. We need more pods.
That's
This was
right.
great. Listen to me. This podcast is so helpful.
That's awesome.
And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful to be part of it. So,
Well,
thank you for all.
monthly we're going to have guests on that are really just patients in the office that have questions and can ask me whatever they want, ask any questions they want, share their story, how they get healthy, what health challenges have they overcome recently, and what they've been doing to create health in their own bodies, and then ask me any questions they want, like you did today. So great job! Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I appreciate you, and thanks again for listening to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. Till next time.